To a man who jumped into a near-exploding boiler, to a man who investigated fires, to a man who can debate even the greatest scholars, this is for you, Reggie Price. As many may know, I'm half white and half Arab. This speech is about my grandfather on the white side of my family. My grandfather loves to share knowledge and gain knowledge, from the depths of the ocean to the farthest star in the sky. He has some piece of knowledge he'd love to share. My mother told me, when he was having children, he wanted a boy very badly. So that way he could teach him all the ways of hunting, fishing, shooting, and surviving in the mountains of Utah. He tried it 5 times, all girls, and eventually said, screw it, I'm raising all like sons. He taught them everything from throwing axes to hitting a mountain lion from over 1,000 yards away to being able to catch the biggest fishes in any stream or river. He is a historian, one so good, he must have lived during the days of ancient Egypt. My grandfather will fill your head with wonders and disbelief of the magic of the world. Have you ever wondered how humanity became how it is now? Have you ever wondered how beer saved humanity? Have you ever wondered how pizza was invented? My grandfather can tell you all that. My grandfather is a man who can lead. If the world fell apart and we became tribes, he's the definition of a tribal elder. From ethics to politics to making people happy, he can lead better than President Kennedy and President Lincoln combined. A story from my grandfather is that he used to be in the military, particularly the Coast Guard. He fought in Vietnam and worked as an engineer down the engine of the ship. His ship was one of the only ones to take down an enemy vessel during the entirety of the war. During this fight, he was paired with an Australian ship, and sometime during the fight, his ship got severely damaged in the engine room, and it was flooding, and the water was very, very hot. My grandfather told me that he was the only one to jump in and weld the leak of where the flooding was coming from. After the war, his ship was able to go on a vacations of sorts where they could have gone around the world. Emphasis on the word could have. Since most of the men were married, they chose not to. It was an all or nothing thing. My grandfather was not married at the time, and he really wanted to go but couldn't. He eventually went back to the States, staying in the Coast Guard, and spent a long time fishing on the West Coast, where he would catch things like mahi-mahi. More on my grandfather's story is that after he finished working at the Coast Guard, and after he got married, he worked as an arson investigator and an EMT for some time. He did his job so well that in the Winter Olympics in Utah, he was invited to work as an EMT, so I was a firefighter there. My grandfather is more of a constitutionalist than the founding fathers, always caring. He's a man who carries a firearm and would defend any man, woman, or child in need. He does this with great care, though. I remember one time at Christmas, we surprised him. A near big mistake. We barged in with great energy. Never barge in on a man who carries, because he almost drew his weapon. Now, again, he takes very careful thought before doing so, and he was able to recognize it was us before anything bad happened. So to the audience, never surprise a man who carries. Unfortunately, I am all the way across the nation from my grandfather, but whenever I do get to see him, I always try my best to learn from him what I can. He is a man, and probably the only man, who has the fullest and my truest respect.